Good morning, Prairie UU. Good morning to the sacred ground that we walk on. We are Prairie Unitarian Universalist Church, and we are from Parker, Colorado, and we say, welcome and join us. We are a liberal religious light on the prairie. I invite you this morning to walk and rest with us on Holy Land, to join us on land that was created by the divine, land that was cared for and beloved by the Arapaho, the Cheyenne, the Apache, the Pueblo, the Shoshone, and the Ute. Join us as we celebrate the land of the buffalo, the land that births bison, great horned sheep, black bear, elk, and mountain lions. Land that feeds us. Welcome to our spiritual home, that land that we have not the right to claim or own. I, as the infinite generations before me have done, I welcome you into this space of beauty and peace. Welcome one and all. From me to you, welcome to Prairie UU.
Good morning, Prairie people, friends, and guests. Thank you for being here this morning. We're going to start by singing a hymn that we don't do very often, but I thought it was appropriate for today. It's number 134, Our World is One World. I think it's a very pretty hymn. It's written by an English poet, Cicely Taylor, who is still alive today. So please join me as you are willing and able in singing Our World is One World.
Our world is one world. What touches one affects us all. The seas that wash us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes, with love or hate we make a bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who stand or fall. Our world is one world, just like a ship that bears us all, where fear and greed make many holes, but where our hearts can hear a different call.
Thank you for your wonderful singing. We're actually going to sing another one. We're going to do We'll Build a Land. It's number 121. And we've sung this many times, and it's always been hard to sing, and it won't be any easier. It took me, I don't know how many takes to get this one all the way through. But it is a really beautiful hymn, and I love the words. So please join me as you're willing and able in singing hymn 121, We'll Build a Land.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all morning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations of old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land band of people so bold. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come build the land, my people we seek. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
We can think of no better way than to start our service than to do it with a close friend or a breathing buddy. This is my breathing buddy, Puppy Love. And if you haven't brought your breathing buddy with you, it's time to do that now. So let us settle into this space. Let us take a moment to do this in community. We start with a moment of breathing. Now, if you have your breathing buddy, rest him on your chest. And I invite you to find a source of inspiration or to close your eyes and just settle in. Maybe roll your shoulders back. Maybe open up your chest with a deep breath. Do something that releases the tension in your body as we take a few deep breaths in. So we'll breathe in and out. In and out. In, out. During this month, we focus on deep listening. And today we focus on listening to the land. I invite you to take the next few moments of meditation and reflection to reflect on how this planet speaks to you. Today we celebrate the wonder of nature created billions of years ago by both design and mutation. I believe that if you speak out loud your wish of goodwill, that it connects us to each other, to our land, to our ancestors, and to our future. It gives our goodwill power, and therefore I offer that up in community. I offer up our Mother Earth. She has cared for our ancestors, us, and will continue to care for the generations to come. She connects us with roots of the past and gives us wings for the future. She teaches us to love with every deep breath of air we take in and cleanses the breath as we exhale. We are grateful for her generosity, her nurture and care. We thank her for all that she gives us with covenantal and gentility. May we tread on her softly, and may we listen to her calls from her poles for us not to abuse her any longer. Now I invite you to speak peace and love into the world by speaking of those who you hold in your heart as we send positive energy into the world. I invite you now, if you are in the Google Meet, to unmute yourself and speak the name of any intention you hold, or enter it into the comments section, and we will collectively send out goodwill at this time. I now bind not only what has been named and made known to us at this time, but also those things, those intentions which remain unknown and held in the heart of this community as we light this chalice flame. Our beloved community is not built on a creed, but on a covenant to live together in relationship. And our chalice is a symbol that we are connected with the larger Unitarian Universalist community. We light this flame as a symbol of our covenant to each other and the world around us as we recite our sacred promise.
We covenant to be a welcoming and loving community, offering each other fellowship, sanctuary, and a joyful spirit. We seek justice and peace in all our deeds and relationships, and we respect and honor both the individual and the collective search for sacred meaning and truth. We revere and celebrate the diversity of our earth and are guided by the spirit that connects all life as we reach out to offer our best to ourselves, our community, and our world.
This hymn we're singing next dates from the early 1800s in the land that would eventually become the state of Minnesota. Commonly known as the Dakota hymn, it's a mix of Christian theology and a Dakota Indian tune. The words are from the book of Jeremiah. It appears in many hymnals today and was first published in 1916 in the Dakota Indian Hymnal. Thanks to Eric for creating this arrangement that we'll be singing with. So please join me as you're willing and able in singing Many and Great, O God.
Many and great, O God, are thy things, maker of earth and sky. Thy hands have set the heavens with stars, thy fingers spread the mountains and plains. Lo, at thy word the waters were formed, deep seas obey thy voice. Grant unto us communion with thee, thou star abiding one. Come unto us and dwell with us. With thee are found the gifts of life. Bless us with life that has no end, eternal life with thee.
Good morning. Today, in our exploration of the theme of deep listening, Pastor AJ will talk about Indigenous people and the way they listen to the land. There are many groups of Indigenous people living in many different Indigenous cultures all over the world. But one thing many of these cultures have in common is a deep connection to the land they live on. They know that the land is just as important a part of existence as you or I, and the land can help tell us who we are, where we come from, and sometimes even what our next actions ought to be. In fact, some children from the Indigenous tribes of Australia, particularly Aboriginal Australians and Torres Strait Islanders, have written a song about how important it is for them to listen to their land. Feel free to sing along when you get the words.
Garing in the name, a dojama perono, brrr, a brrr. Try. We walk the city streets, concrete beneath our feet. Buildings climb to the sky, the lights are blinding me. People everywhere, into a screen they stare. I'm lost inside, I need a breath of air. Like glass made out of sand, or paper from the trees. It's part of who I am, right there inside of me. Need to see it and feel it. That's our connection to the land. We will grow it, not break it. Our connection to the land.
There's eyes upon me. They see what they wanna see. Their limitations, expectations standing over me.
Set my soul free. Forget about the world around me. Our story must survive to keep our culture alive. Like glass made out of sand, or paper from the trees. It's part of who I am, right there inside of me. Need to see it and feel it. That's our connection to the land. We will grow it, not break it. Our connection to the land. Need to see it and feel it. That's our connection to the land. We will grow it, not break it. Our connection to the land. Our connection to the land. Our connection to the land.
May we also learn and grow from our connection to the land. And now it's time to sing our children out.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Yesterday, walking in the redwoods with a dog, I decided to ask the trees about COVID-19. Basically, what I heard from the trees is that even this virus has a message for us if we are willing to hear it. No, they were not saying that God created a virus to punish us. Trust me, I checked, because I have not forgotten the 1980s. But they were clear there is a message. As far as I could make it out, the immediate message is slow down and start taking care of yourselves, of your own bodies, of each other, of the people and other living beings who are being ground up and spit out of all your systems. They said, you thought it was impossible to make a sudden about face, to step outside the relentless economic processes that reduce all of life to resources to be expended. You said, we know we have to change everything in the next 10 years, but we can't imagine how. But here you are, brought to a grinding halt by something so tiny it is invisible to the eye. What if you use this time when all the events are getting canceled and many of you are being told not to report to work to reconnect with what you love? What if this virus brings you to your knees so that you have to admit that you don't really know how to move forward? And then, what if you started reconsidering how you've been living and reaching out to each other, especially to those most at risk, and talking about what you long for, and noticing the redwoods and the daffodils, and talking to us too? What if? When we are emotionally tired, we will slow down and listen to the earth. When the seasons change, we will slow down and listen to the earth. When life seems to overwhelm us, we will slow down and listen to the earth. When we need to stop and recognize the color purple, we will slow down and listen to the earth. When we need to sit in wonder, we will slow down and listen to the earth.
Welcome, Prairie members and friends, and welcome to all of our guests and visitors today. Every day we offer up our community as a liberal religious light on the prairie of the Southeast Metro Denver area. We open our spiritual home and our hearts to all that are thirsting for authenticity and a connection with the mystery of life. We hope you feel welcomed and a sense of inclusion today as we engage in our online service format. And we want to acknowledge all those who are joining us for the first time, whether you're from Parker, Colorado, Bridge House in Aurora, Roswell, New Mexico, Sioux City, Iowa, Phoenix, Austin, everyone, anywhere else in the world, you're welcome here. And let us know that you're here by clicking the link in the chat or by going to prairieuu.org/welcome and sign our guest registry. That'll help us keep you informed of all things that are going on with Prairie this month and months to come. So today, since we are not in person, our tradition is usually to greet one another. So today I give you a virtual hug that communicates all the love and celebration of our Prairie UU community.
Today's message is in honor of Indigenous people across the country and around the world who have had their culture, language, and peoples attacked and extinguished throughout the ages through colonization, manifest destiny, and divine providence. I encourage you to explore and learn more about Indigenous Peoples Day coming up on October 12th so that you are well educated and informed. For more information, you can go to www.uua.org and search Indigenous Peoples Day. Today, though, rather than focus on the abuses of Indigenous people, I would like to take some time to celebrate our spirituality that has come so very close to being completely lost. We will start with a short video from native TikToker James Jones, aka Notorious Cree, with the hope that with some levity, we can set the stage for this message. And the video is called, Where Do You Live?
Name?
Frank Fence Post.
Address?
Where do I live?
Yeah, where you live.
I live where the land meets the sky, where the eagle and the raven fly free. I live under the sun and the moon.
Where do you live?
I'm his neighbor.
I wanted to start with this video because it speaks to the native worldview that we do not live in homes or cities or countries. We live in the universe where all things come together across both time and space and meet in a sacred single instance that we all share. Now, I can't speak to or for all Native or Indigenous people, but I can speak from my own experience, and I hope to share some of that with you today. Listening to the land is important for many, many reasons. As was shared with you just a few moments ago in the centering thought, listening to the land is something that we all need to do, because there are messages out there that the land is telling us that we're sometimes too busy to hear. You know, sometimes we are too busy to hear that climate change is real. Sometimes we're too busy to hear that the lack of modernization with a growing population is killing people worldwide, not only through things like this pandemic, but also through drought, cancers, toxins in our water, and pollutants in our air. We are too busy to see that we are continuing to leave a world for our future generations that is in disarray. As a quote-unquote modernized white culture, we are often too busy to see beyond our now, present, and the future. I think that those of us who are progressives recognize that we have now become more aware and we have our eyes open to the future, and because we're not listening to the land. And we understand that we are doing great violence to it, and that we fail at taking care of it, and we too often and easily forgive ourselves for that. And this brings me to my understanding and other natives' understandings of why we need to listen to the land. We listen to the land not only because of its and our needs in the present and the future, but also because of its inherent worth. And its interconnectedness and how it interconnects us to our past and our ancestors. Denard and I have a running joke about our worldview. He looks at trees and is just in amazement at the beauty and the color. And I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty tree. When I look at rocks and cliffs and the mountains, I'm in awe. And he's like, yeah, they're pretty, but did you see that tree over there? And you know, it's just who we are. For example, when Denard and I were driving out here last October after our trip to California to pick up our last few items for the move, we were driving through the Western Slope. And I was just sitting in amazement of the beauty of the strata and the soil and the rock, just as the sheer beauty of the land. Because the land was speaking to me. Now, it wasn't telling me what most people think. It wasn't telling me to take care of it in a different way or to be better to it. It was just telling me its story, a love story of its creation. The years of hard work that was put into it and brought us to where we are right now in this single instance of time. It told me of the billions of years of soil and water and wind and sun and plants and animals that went into creating it layer by layer. Told me a story of earthquakes and fires and floods, volcanoes and landslides and snowfalls. A story of having bloodshed on it through calamity, pestilence, war, and agedness. I think that part of this comes from my native inheritance, and it may not even be conscious, but my spirituality and my theological worldview that was given to me by my ancestors and my elders. When I looked at those great rocks in the Western Slope, they spoke to me. The land and those rocks told me her story, and they asked me to honor her. Now, many of you have heard, I'm sure, of the 7th generation principle, that we should not think of ourselves, act for ourselves, or vision for ourselves, but we should do all of these things for the next 7 generations to come. And that comes from the idea that we are a creation of past 7 generations that have built our skin. And I reflect on this saying that I do believe this principle. I do believe that who we are will affect the future and has been affected and created from the past. But I also don't believe this is a literal saying. It isn't about our progeny or our ancestors. It's about the fact that humanity is a specific point in time in a generation. And that all that the creation has come before us has come up to a summation of what I've just described and brought us to this point. When we listen to our land, we do not only hear the rock and the stone, but we also hear the bones, the blood, the tears, the laughter, and the joy of our ancestors. We see in the sacred land the buried, our grandfather the mastodon, our grandmother the dinosaur, our mother the buffalo, our father the eagle, and our family members throughout time and space, from every insect to algae, every redwood to blue whale. We are connected in this land. If we allow ourselves to take part and to hear it speaking to us, we will have and be heard a story of love and creation. And for me, and this and other reasons, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll probably know that I am a firm believer that we as Unitarian Universalists need to really look at our structure of our principles and change the order. Now, for some of you, maybe it's changing an order, it's superficial. But for others, it may be very controversial when I say the next thing. Because yes, I believe we need to move away from a focus on the inherent worth and dignity of the individual. And we need to recenter our principles on the interdependent web of life. We need to center less on individuality and focus more on our connectedness to each other, the past, the present, and the future. We need to connect to that which has long come before us and that which will long be here after us. Understanding our past, living with and in our present, and honoring by making changes that will affect the future is how we will honor the land. I invite you to take some time to reflect on how recentering could change who we are as Unitarian Universalists and how we move forward toward building a spiritually, a land-based, interconnected, beloved community that we claim to want to build and bring forth in the future. Blessed be. And finally, I invite you to learn more about Indigenous Peoples Day. I invite you to check out the band Redbone and to listen for their message about telling Native story and what Native spirituality can look like in a really wonderful 1970s disco kind of way. And finally, I invite you to investigate what our principles say to you. I invite you to look at how do we actualize them, and does the order that they sit in present a different value system for you? For me, as I said earlier, it does present a different value system for me. And I really do think that we need to investigate what does it look like to put interconnectedness before all other things. How would that change the world? Thank you. Being part of this community is bringing our shared resources, our time, our talent, and our treasure. Prairie Unitarian Universalist is not an institution. It is a community of people who come together in love and support of each other. We need to be taken care of in a variety of ways. One of those ways is through our teamwork. And one of our teams that I would like to share with you and thank today is our staff. I would like to thank the members of our staff for all the work that they do. Our staff includes myself, Eric and Paul, our music department, Jen in Lifespan, Rhonda, our administrator, Mary in communications, and Renee in finance. Our staff is a very dedicated group, and I'm honored to work with them. Over the last year, they have transformed the daily operations of Prairie UU with efficiency and great skill. They move with humility and offer me great counsel and grace. I am grateful for all that they do. The staff is available to each of you for questions, comments, kudos, help, Monday through Thursday. I would also like to take a moment to thank you for giving to our Colorado Unitarian Universalist Black, Indigenous, and People of Color Fund that is supporting a nationwide conversation on Unitarian Universalism and people of color. The fund is established to provide services and programming for our Unitarian Universalist BIPOC community members and their families. If you are interested, if you are somebody who identifies as Black, Indigenous, or a person of color, and would like to know more about the fund and more about the services that we're providing, please contact me and let me know. We thank you for everything that you're giving. We also invite you to be a happy giver to Prairie UU. While we cannot pass the plate in person, we do need your continued support to build our beloved community. I would like to thank you for your offering to this community. We know that it is generously given, and believe me when I say it is gratefully received.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Hi, my name is Laura Heisler. Prairie Unitarian Universalist Church is a welcoming community, and we would love for you to join us and deepen your bond with our beloved community. We hope that if you would like to become a member of our community, you will reach out and connect with us in a deeper and more meaningful way. In 2014, shortly after we moved to Parker, Colorado, we became members of Prairie. The people we met were so kind and really cared about each other. They were genuine. They are genuine. I love candles of community where people share their joys, sorrows, and concerns. I experienced support and love from our community when I had my back surgery and also with the scare of congestive heart failure. I received yummy meals, uplifting visits, and precious cards. I have witnessed the love and care of Prairie members numerous times. Our community genuinely cares for each other. I have made some deep friendships at Prairie, and it means the world to me. We have felt support for our 10-year-old Emma with Down syndrome and all her struggles in school and life. Our 14-year-old Olivia enjoys Prairie activities, movies, breakfast, and OWL. Prairie keeps me grounded. I believe in the power of prayer and positivity. I feel Prairie has helped me to find myself and pushes me to grow in many ways, also giving more of myself. My community at Prairie, along with my family, sustains me. This is a place of acceptance and commitment, a sacred and spiritual home that opens itself up to you. You and yours are welcome here. Becoming a member of Prairie UU is becoming a member of a sacred bond. We love our community and welcome you into it. If you are called to be a member of our community and have not already done so, we invite you to become a covenantal member if you are in the Denver metro area or a virtual member from anywhere in the world. Simply contact a member of our membership committee or go to our website and complete our guest registry. Checking the box to get more information about membership. We will be happy to join in this journey with you and welcome you into our beloved community.
Hi, we're members of Prairie's new Soul Matters adult group. We're really excited about the program. The program is somewhere in between a support group and a discussion group. It's a great way to get in touch with your inner self as well as connect with others. Each month, we get a packet from Soul Matters that's full of great resources. Each month has a theme, and this month of October, it's listening. So when we get the packet, which you can get from me or through the weekly email, we look through it and we identify a couple of the spiritual exercises to do. And then when we meet as a group, we discuss those spiritual exercises, particularly what our experiences are with it and what connections we may have with others on that. So I think it's terrific.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and the thing I like about Soul Matters is that it gives me a chance to talk about feelings and ideas that are deep inside me with a supportive and non-judgmental group of people. I hope you can join us. Thanks.
Over the years I've been with Prairie, I have participated in very small groups. Right now I'm participating in the Soul Matters content that we have available for adult education. And I've really appreciated the depth of the materials, the fact that it's also facilitated. And this particular course really gives me a chance to reconnect with my inner voice.
The group normally meets the second and fourth Sunday of every month at 11:45 during the learning hour online. This month of October, we only meet the 25th as there's a congregational meeting on the second Sunday. We hope you will join us for this.
As we prepare to leave this sacred space, in the spirit that they take us forward, reminding us that our service does not end but continues to live in our hearts, may we go forward with these words from Mark L. Bellatini. Go in peace. Live simply, gently, at home in yourselves.
Act justly, speak justly.
Remember the depth of your own compassion. Forget not your power in the days of your powerlessness.
Do not desire to be wealthier than your peers, and stint not your hand of charity. Practice forbearance.
Speak the truth, or speak not.
Take care of yourselves as bodies, for you are a good gift.
Crave peace for all people in the world, beginning with yourselves, and go as you go, with the dream of that peace alive in your heart.
Amen. Amin. Shalom. Salam. Namaste. And blessed be.